All right, let's talk about one of the absolute best tax deductions out there for freelancers, small business owners, anyone who's self-employed. We're going to jump right in. So, if you're your own boss, you already know the deal, right? You wear all the hats. And on top of everything else, you have to pay for your own health insurance. And those premiums, wow, they can be a massive chunk of your budget. But here's the good news. There's a special part of the tax code designed to help you with that exact problem. It's called the Self-Employed Health Insurance Deduction. And honestly, it can be a total game changer for your bottom line. So in the next couple of minutes, we're going to break down what this perk is, how to know if you're eligible, what the limits are, a tricky little situation with non-dependent kids, and then, of course, how to actually claim it. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about what makes this deduction so incredibly powerful. So this is what's called an above-the-line deduction. And that phrase is key. It means you get to subtract the cost of your insurance premiums directly from your income, even before you get to your adjusted gross income, or AGI. You don't have to itemize or anything. It just straight up lowers your taxable income, which means you pay less in taxes. Simple as that. And check this out. It's not just for you. You can deduct the premiums you pay to cover yourself, your spouse, your dependents, and this is a big one, your kids under the age of 27, even if they aren't your dependents anymore. That's huge. Okay, so you're probably asking, this sounds great, but can I actually take it? Well, it really just boils down to passing 3 key tests. First, your business has to actually show a net profit for the year. If you have a loss, you can't take the deduction. Makes sense. Second, the insurance plan has to be officially established under your business. And third, and this is the one that trips a lot of people up, you can't be eligible for a health plan subsidized by some other employer. And let me be super clear about this. It doesn't matter if you actually sign up for that other plan. If you were just eligible for coverage through, say, your spouse's job, even for just 1 month of the year, you lose the deduction for that specific month. The same goes for any plans available through your dependent's job or your child's job. Eligibility is the key word here. All right, so you've passed the eligibility check. Awesome. Now let's talk about the rules and limits, because you can't always deduct 100% of your premiums. There are 2 main guardrails here. First, your deduction can't be more than your business's earned income. So let's say your business made $10,000, but your premiums for the year were $12,000. Well, you can only deduct $10,000. And the second one we just covered, you can't deduct premiums for any month where you had the option to get on another subsidized plan. So what happens to the money you couldn't deduct? In that last example, what about that extra $2,000 in premiums? Is that just lost? Well, not necessarily. Any of those leftover premiums can potentially be lumped in with your other medical expenses. You'd claim this on Schedule A if you itemize your deductions, but, and it's a big but, there's a high bar to clear. You can only deduct the portion of your total medical costs that is more than 7.5% of your adjusted gross income. Now let's dive into that very specific but really common situation. You're covering your adult child who's under 27, but they're not your dependent. The rules for how you handle those premiums can get a little bit tricky. Okay, this table really breaks it down. Let's look at example 1. Say you had a self-only plan, and adding your child made the premium go up by $5,000. Now, let's say your business income limits your total deduction to just $4,000. You have to apply that $4,000 deduction to your child's portion first. The extra $1,000 for the child is lost. Your own $5,000 part of the premium, though, can still count towards your itemized medical expenses. Now look at example 2. Here, you added your child to a family plan, and the price didn't change at all. Because there was no specific cost increase for them, you have more freedom. You can take your $4,000 deduction, and the whole remaining $6,000 can be included with your itemized medical expenses. See the difference? It all hinges on whether adding them costs you more. So if there's one thing you take away from that, it's this. If adding your non-dependent child to your plan actually made your premium go up, that specific price increase has to be assigned to them first when you're figuring out your deduction. It's a key detail. Okay, we've covered the what, the who, and the how much. Let's finish up with the practical part, how you actually get this deduction on your tax return. For most people, this is going to be pretty simple. You just use the worksheet that's right there in the instructions for your main tax form, the 1040. But if your situation is a little more complex, maybe you have a couple of different businesses, or you have foreign income, or you're deducting long-term care insurance, then you'll need to fill out a separate form, which is Form 7206. Either way, once you have your number, it goes right onto your Form 1040. So let's do a super quick recap. The big thing to remember is this is an above-the-line deduction, which is awesome. To be eligible, you need a profit and no other employer plan options. Your deduction is capped by your business income. Remember those tricky allocation rules if you cover a non-dependent child. And finally, for most folks, the 1040 worksheet is all you need unless you have one of those special exceptions.
And there you have it. Knowing these rules is one thing, but actually putting them to work is where the real savings happen. So have a think about your own situation. How much could this one deduction change your tax bill this year? Thanks so much for tuning in.